My parents didn't show up to my son's funeral. I need you to sit with that for a moment. My little boy, my only child, was lowered into the ground on a gray, rain-soaked morning, and the two people who gave me life, the two people who were supposed to teach me what family means, chose not to be there. They chose to sip champagne at a destination pre-wedding party for my sister, laughing on a beach in Mexico, while I buried my son with my hands trembling so hard I could barely hold the roses I placed on his casket. He was only 11. His name was Matthew. He was the kind of boy who lit up every room he entered, bright, curious, with a laugh that could crack open even the darkest days. He loved dinosaurs and science experiments, and he had this goofy habit of drawing comic strips where the superheroes were just versions of our cat wearing capes. He was my world. And then, after a sudden and aggressive illness, he was gone in just a matter of weeks. My life collapsed into pieces. The day of the funeral, I kept looking at the doors of the church, convinced my parents would walk in, late but guilty, tears in their eyes, ready to hold me when I broke down. But the doors never opened. My sister called that morning, saying, Mom and Dad couldn't make it. The flights were too expensive to change. And then, as if that wasn't cruel enough, she added, besides, you know how important this wedding is to me. I need their support right now. I hung up on her. I couldn't even process what I was hearing. I thought grief had numbed me, but no, the fire that ignited in my chest that day was something entirely different. 3 months passed. I tried to survive. I sat alone in Matthew's empty bedroom night after night, holding his favorite T-Rex figurine like it was oxygen. My parents didn't visit once. They didn't ask how I was surviving. They didn't acknowledge what they'd done. Silence. Until one evening, my phone lit up with a call from my mother. Her voice was sweet, rehearsed, the way she used to sound when she wanted me to do chores as a teenager. Honey, we need to talk about something important, she said. I said nothing. Just waited. It's about Matthew's trust, she continued, her tone casual, almost businesslike. You know, the one your late husband set up before he passed. We were thinking, it would be such a beautiful gesture if you contributed it to your sister's wedding. She wants it to be unforgettable. It would honor Matthew, in a way. Family supporting family. I remember gripping the phone so tightly I thought it might shatter. You're asking me to give my dead son's money to pay for flowers and champagne? It's not about the money, my father chimed in from the background. It's about unity. Don't be selfish. You don't need it now. You're alone. Your sister is starting her life. My hands went cold. My vision blurred. For the first time since Matthew's death, I felt something stronger than grief. I felt rage that cut through my bones. I ended the call without a word. But they didn't stop. The texts came daily. My sister even sent me Pinterest boards of wedding venues and dresses, attaching little notes like, "This is what Matthew would have wanted, for me to have my dream wedding." Each message was a knife twisting deeper into my chest. I realized something horrifying. To them, my son was never real. He was just a name, a photo on their wall, an afterthought compared to my sister's spotlight. They had skipped his funeral, and now they wanted to strip away what little piece of him remained. That's when I decided, if they wanted to play games with his trust, I'd make sure the final move was mine. See, the trust wasn't just money. It was $850,000 that my husband had fought tooth and nail to secure, his life insurance, his investments, everything he worked for. It was meant for Matthew's future. And when Matthew died, it transferred fully to me. My parents didn't realize I had already moved it into a separate account, locking it so tight that even I needed multiple verifications to access it. But I didn't stop there. I met with my lawyer, explained the harassment, and asked if there was a way to make sure none of them could ever touch it. 2 weeks later, I set up a scholarship fund in Matthew's name, for kids who loved paleontology, like he did. Every cent of that $850,000 went into it. His memory would help other children chase their dreams. His name would live on, carved into something real, something untouchable. But I wasn't finished. When my sister's wedding day came, I received an invitation in the mail with a sticky note that read, "No excuses this time." I went. Dressed in black. Not funeral black, vengeance black. I walked into that glittering ballroom filled with flowers and crystal chandeliers and people fawning over my sister in her designer gown. She looked at me like I was dirt. "At least you showed up," she muttered. I smiled. Oh, I wouldn't have missed this. When the speeches began, my parents beamed as they prepared to toast the perfect union. That's when I stood. The microphone wasn't supposed to be mine, but I took it anyway. I wasn't sure what to give my sister for her wedding. I began, my voice steady but sharp enough to cut glass. After all, my parents suggested I give her my son's trust fund. $850,000. Money set aside for a little boy whose life ended before it ever truly began. Money my parents thought would be better spent on shrimp cocktails and fireworks. The room went silent. My sister's smile froze. My parents' faces drained of color. So, instead of handing it to them, I created something else. The Matthew James Memorial Scholarship. For children who dream of studying dinosaurs, just like he did. His future was stolen, but now his name will give others theirs. That's where the money went. Not here. Not to this circus. Gasps echoed. My mother hissed my name under her breath, but I kept going. And as for family unity? I looked directly at my parents. You weren't at his funeral. You'll never be part of his legacy. That door is closed forever. I set the microphone down and walked out, leaving a ballroom full of stunned faces and shattered illusions. Later that night, my phone exploded with calls. My parents screamed about humiliation. My sister wailed that I'd ruined her special day. I blocked them all. It's been a year since that wedding. The scholarship is thriving. Every time I get a letter from a child who received it, thanking Matthew for helping them chase their dreams, I feel like my son's spirit is alive again. My parents? They're ghosts to me now. They chose their path the day they skipped his funeral. And me? I chose revenge. Not the petty kind. The kind that lasts, that carves justice into stone. They wanted to erase my son. Instead, I erased them. And that, I promise you, is a legacy they will never touch.